I'm Tony from Carboy.net. Today we're going to show you how to build a Stirplate out of easily available parts that you can get online or on eBay or in your asshole or wherever the fuck you want to get them. The main component for a Stirplate is an electronic speed control circuit. For that you're going to need a 2000 ohm potentiometer, an LM317 voltage regulator, a 330 ohm resistor, and a 0.1 microfarad capacitor. You're also going to need a 6-inch piece of speaker wire, a 6-volt AC adapter with a female jack, a couple of rare earth magnets, a PVC spacer, computer fan, a project box, some epoxy or glue, some super glue if you have it, and a soldering iron and some solder. The first thing you're going to want to do is to figure out the height of your spacer. The goal is to get the magnets as close to the bottom of your project box as possible without touching. To do that, you're going to measure the distance between the top of your fan and the bottom of your project box, and you're going to subtract 1/8 of an inch and the thickness of your magnets. Once you got your PVC spacer cut, you're going to want to glue it to the center of the fan. What we got here is some 5-minute epoxy that we're mixing up. You want to make sure you get it right in the center.
What's that movie with like where they like do clay spinning and like the dude's behind her?
That's Ghost.
Is that Ghost? Oh, it's so nice.
I had the time of my life. And I owe it. That's not the song they're playing.
Dude,
it's
some love making song.
Hold
for
on,
sure.
what song is that? So the next thing you're going to want to do is to glue your magnets onto your spacer. To do that, you're going to attach the magnets to your stir bar to get the correct spacing. Then you're going to want to apply some super glue to your magnets and glue them to your spacer. You're going to want to make sure that everything is centered and in the right space. If I can make one drunk, you can make one sober. Alright, so I'm going to take my potentiometer and I'm just going to put it in a little pair of vice grips to hold it to make it easier to work on, and then I'm going to make the variable speed control circuit. First thing I'm going to do is to take my voltage regulator and my resistor, and I'm going to solder them to the far left lead of the potentiometer, both of them on the same one. So the next thing I'm going to do is to take the red wire from the fan and the free end of the resistor, and I'm going to twist them together, and I'm going to solder those to the middle post of the voltage regulator. So the next thing you're going to want to do is to find which wire has the stripe on it on your 6-inch piece of speaker wire, and you're going to want to connect that to your capacitor and to the black wire of the fan. You're going to want to twist them all together and solder all of them to the center lead on the potentiometer. So the next thing you're going to want to do is to take the remaining side of your 6-inch wire and twist it with the remaining leg of the capacitor and solder it to the third and only remaining leg of the voltage regulator. So when you attach your female jack to this, you're going to want to make sure that your striped wire goes to the negative and the non-striped side goes to the positive. So at this point it's time to start putting things together. You're going to get your project box and make sure that it's drilled out for everything that you've got here. You're going to want a hole for your potentiometer, a hole for your jack, and a couple of holes to hold the fan in place. So at this point, we've got everything installed. We've got our knob on. We've got our nuts tightened down. Everything seems to be lined up. We're just going to test it before we screw the top on to make sure it works, even though we know that it does. Look at that, it works. We turn it down. It stops. We turn it up, and it works fine. So it's time to put the lid on. Drink beer. All right. So we're going to put the lid on?
Yep.
We're putting the lid on. Pretty good for a drunk guy.
Oh my god.
And that's how you make a stir plate at home in 22 minutes for way less than you can buy one in a store.